Did you see my hands? Did you see my hands? Did you see my hands? Oh, did you see my hands? My hands are not working, and my eye is leaking. There's a butterfly at the bottom of the bed. It calls itself a snark. I'm not in a snark with you, Mr. Blue Sky. And welcome to Dangerfield's Sunday Prescription. What a week it's been. I say week, it's been, about 4 since we last talked. But I've had an injury. I am disabled. I have a problem doing things in life. This is what happened. So it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. Put yourself in my seat. Don't do that. Give yourself a breather. Come on, son, you'll be all right. And I thought, I know. Well, I didn't think. This is the problem. There you go. This is a repeating theme of everything I've told you. I just do things. So I opened my eyes and went, I am starving. And what I thought I'd do was have a yoghurt with a natural yoghurt. Not that natural, it doesn't grow on trees, but, you know. And I thought I'd squeeze a bit of lemon juice in it like I usually do. Little bit of sugar. I say a little bit of sugar. The whole fucking thing is essentially a sugar vehicle with about an inch of Demerara on top. And so I got up and I went over, and of course, like I said, I've just woken up, so it's all a bit dreamlike. And I picked up the lemon and I tried to squeeze it. Now, what I usually use, I've got this glass tea strainer. It's really nice. You put it into another glass, fill the glass up with water, put the tea in the tea strainer. It sort of allows it to brew, and then you pull it out and throw the leaves away. So I use it for squeezing lemons in, because you can squeeze a lemon in it and you get all the lemon juice but not the seeds. And I was squeezing it, but a combination of me just getting out of bed and being very weak, Mum, and a combination of the lemon. You swallowed me a lemon, wasn't right, boy. As I'm not well, I told you that. I didn't, but I should have done. And so I couldn't squeeze it. It was not ripe, and I was not ripe. So instead of the usual squeezing, I thought, I know, I'll squeeze it against the edge of the glass tea strainer. So I put it on there and it went, and then it sort of made this noise as it dug into both hands. Oh, this is lovely, that's what I want. And immediately there's claret everywhere, both hands. I dropped my hands down in front of me and they're bleeding, and I'm like, I'm a stigmata. And I was a stigmata. And you say stigmata, I say stigmata. And I thought, shit, what am I going to do? And I can't dwell on this sort of stuff. I don't like blood. I'm not very good with all of that. I'm terrible with it, really. And I just thought, right, I'm losing, you feel it in your sort of belly. And I'm starkers. I'm absolutely naked. But apart from my new blood dress I'm wearing, I thought, right, what can I do? So I've had to go downstairs. Now, bearing in mind, there's lumps of glass sticking out of my a big hole in my hand that's got blood dribbling out, and I can see bits of stuff like ligaments and muscle tissue, seriously. And again, if this happened right now, I just hit the deck, it's over, I'll bleed to death, good night Dangerfield. But because it's early in the morning, I've sort of, I'm running on ignorance, essentially. But I've got to grab hold of my door, and it's a tough door. You have to sort of yank it, and the bottom of the door scrapes against the wood, and it's as I'm doing it, and there's little spots of red all over my floor still. That sort of, where it's almost sort of, it's like a mahogany. Oh, they're still all there. I've kind of left them there. It looks like a consolation of near death. It's lovely, really. I could probably join all the dots up and just say, don't eat lemons. So I've gone downstairs naked, bleeding, stigmata. And I went to the woman who runs the restaurant downstairs. I went, can you help me? Have you seen my hands? Can you see my hands? Can you see my hands, please? Please, lady, can you see my hands? And she was on it straight away. 2 plastic bags over my hands. Weird, really. I thought I thought with my beard she might come along with a policeman's hat and put it over my penis like that famous streaker. But no, plastic bags over hands. Got to stop the blood dripping on the floor before stopping my penis being exposed. And she ran upstairs. I don't know what she'd done when she got in here, but let's assume she went into zero gravity, got herself in a bit of a spin, managed to pick up my jeans and a t-shirt, sort of flew back down the stairs, re-entered a normal Earth's gravitational pull and appeared as normal at the bottom of the stairs, walked out, dressed me, oh here we go, button fly, bought the jeans when I was a waif like, live, now I've got a paunch, I'm a fat boy, stop fat shaming you, stop fat shaming me, stop fat shaming everyone. And so she can't do up the button fly, and as she's trying to do it, of course, there's a little bit too much penis touching, but the blood is running. Miss Magdalene, help me with my jeans. And so she's done them up out of nowhere, again not nowhere, but it appeared to, because the periphery of my vision was becoming blurry. Taxi driver, black cab, excuse me mate, and he saw the blood and that, and it was now building up in the bottom of the bags. Not a lot. It wasn't like I had two big it wasn't like I was wearing boxing gloves, but still little sort of red triangles. Not the one on Channel 4. There's no soft porn here, kids, but enough to see that this is still, there's no clotting going on. Now, haven't had my bananas. Regular listens to the Dangerfield, what is now essentially a Wednesday afternoon, sometimes midweek, once every month podcast, will know that I need bananas to function. Haven't had my bananas, no time for that. Also hard to do that fiddly work with your 1 mils and all that shit and heat and I can't be doing that when I'm bleeding. Stigma. I'll tell you what I look like. Carrie. Do you remember Carrie? Oh, horrible film, but I look like Carrie. Sissy Space Tech. Is that how you say it? Space Tech. Sissy Space Tech. And so I'm there, and the cab driver, he let me in, fair play, and I said, mate, I've got to go to UCH. Obviously, he knew that. He wasn't going to go, where are you going, mate? Just take us down to Dog and Duck. So fair play to him as well. He banged up on the pavement when he shouldn't. He's reversed down one-way roads. I suppose he was only going one way. And all this sort of stuff. Jumped a red light. I'm exaggerating a bit there, but, I like to think I was very important. Look, quick, get out of the way. Woo! Woo! Like when the president's being driven along, it was kind of like that. We had like a police escort. No, we didn't. And then we get to the hospital, and I go, right, nice one, and I get out, and he has to let me out, of course, because I can't open the door with a big bag of blood on my hand, both hands. And so he lets me out, and I go, nice one, I'm going to try and get round there. I can walk round the front to A&E, mate. I said, here, I'll stick your hand in my pocket. There's 40 quid in there. You can have it. It's only like £5, but I was in that. I felt like everyone was helping me. Take it. I'd regretted it later. I'm not trying to be generous, but I said, just stick your hand in there. And he went, what? I'm not stick my hand in there. And I said, well, you're going to have to, because I fucking can't. He went, I'm not put my hand in there. I don't know where he was from. I did at the time. I've just forgotten and can't do accents, so I'm just confusing it. He went, not putting hand in there. And so I went, well, if you don't put your hand in there, you don't get paid. And I'm not really in a position to be arguing about this now. He went, go on, Gertcha. And he got back in the cab, and the wheels folded in, it raised from the ground, and it flew off to another planet. So I've run round the front of the hospital. I didn't run, I sort of sauntered, strolled, flannered to the front, and I've gone in there. Respect to the NHS, this amazing health institution that is being drained of money, drained of motivation, drained of training, and really most businesses by this point would have given up, but these people, they're born carers. They're people who have got a responsibility to their fellow man. I admire these people, and they went in there. They put me to the front of the queue, but not even there. As soon as I got to the front, they went, come over, what happened, tell us. Put me in a wheelchair, hit the rocket fuel. I was flying through that. Honestly, I was actually flying. We picked up enough speed to sort of rise, because the heat of the wheels on the floor created like a jet works, and the air pressure above was less, so it lifted off the ground slightly. Can you see it now, like a flying stigmata? Amazing. What a thing to happen all over an unripe melon and an unripe brain. And then I arrive where all the other people are. I think what I've basically dodged is the triage, but they do triage in there. And so now I'm sitting there quickly, and she comes over and she says, "Do you need some painkillers?" So I said, "Have a look at my chart. Have a look at my history." So she comes back and she says, "Oh look, it's not going to touch the sides, is it? A bit of codeine." I went, "A bit of codeine, a bit of codeine." I said, "No, unless you're going to drill a hole in my head and drop the codeine straight onto my gamma opioid receptors, that ain't happening. Sort us out some diamorphine. I'm in agony." And I sort of showed her the bag. She said, "That ain't going to happen. You're just going to have to suffer." And fair enough, I suffered, but not for long. They had me down in the room, gone in the room, and I said, "Look, I'm not very good with all this stuff. I feel like I'm going to faint." They said, "No problem, get up on the bed." Doctor comes in, looks at it, and there's a lot of student nurses there. Fair enough, these people have to be trained. I'd rather them be trained on the job. You know, I don't want these people learning about this from oranges and whatever, like, what they do, like piercing balloons, sewing up balloons or some shit. It's not balloons, it's oranges. So there's all these student nurses, and he's going, he said, "Right, first thing you have to do is x-ray it, because there might be glass in there." And he was going, you can see this sticking out. This is muscle fibre. What we have is a small bit of ligament that looks like it's been stretched out of the wound." I'm going, "Whoa." I'm not good at it. Oh, and the bananas, you know, they're not in me. And I explained that to them. He goes, "All right." He says, "I have to warn you, your pain threshold is going to be very low." I said, "So what are you going to do about it?" They quickly got me in the x-ray. I love it in the x-ray. You put your hands under the machine. They all sprint off round behind that screen, hand on heads, duck down like it's Hiroshima. I'm going, "I don't like all this radiation." She went, "It's only a low dose. There's still radiation." Get back. They've turned them out quick enough, and they said, "There's nothing in there that we can see, but..." Get me back in the room. Student nurses, he's got the x-rays, and he says, "Although we can't see anything, after anaesthetising Mr. Dangerfield, what we'll do," his words, "we'll prod a blunt needle around in the wound to see if we can register any glass fragments." Hoi, hoi, hi, hoi, 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 dicky eye boy there. I'm thinking, no. And like the colour is draining from my face. I haven't got any anyway, so when the colour drains from my face, it's just transparent. You can see my skull, the full spheres of my eyes, my wonderful array of gold teeth, and 12 root canals. And so I said, "Look, I'm feeling really dicky now." He said, "It's all right, it's all coming. No worries." And then I said, "What you got for me?" And I like to pretend that I do know a little bit about anaesthetics. And I said, "What you got for me?" "Benzocaine, fingers crossed, a bit of cocaine maybe." He went, "No, lidocaine." And it's like, oh man, why do you give me the shit? What, lidocaine? And I said, "All right then, but it won't hurt then." He went, no. So I'm just sitting there. So when he says blunt needle, I know he doesn't mean get a needle and stub it on the floor. Some needles don't have a, what's it called? What's that thing called? A chamfer. They don't have a chamfer, which is what makes it sharp. It's just a tube that ends as a tube. It's for drawing out of amps before you put it into another syringe for injection. So that's what he means. So I've still got that on my mind. First one, lidocaine into my thumb. Right, I'm 43 years old. I've had some dramas. I've had a little bit of violence. I've had violence. It's when you puke and your bile punches you in the face. I've had a bit of that sort of thing. I've had a few run-ins with hospitals, but I have never, not even close, experienced pain like him jabbing that javelin of lidocaine into the big fleshy bit at the bottom of my thumb. If we imagine the thumb as a chicken drumstick, he's gone right in. I'm not looking, but I can feel it. I can feel it go all the way in, and it is agony. My body bucks like, ugh, and because I buck, it sort of moves my arms. So the jab that's gone in now sort of is being shaken around in the thumb, bearing in mind the thumb's also ripped open, and then he chucks a load of fucking, what's the orange stuff? The stuff, iodine on it. Ever had iodine on an open wound? That's nice. He might as well have just smashed it with a cricket bat. Again, I've bucked. So he went, I go and get blah, 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 blah. So more people come in. Now they're there to hold me down. And it's weird because they're trying to be sort of, it's alright, but really? Why are you holding me down? One on each leg, one bloke's knee on my chest. Then he puts the next lidocaine in round the other side. Fucking agony. I'm thinking, why hasn't the first lidocaine sorted out the second one? Do you know what I mean? Why hasn't it numbed it to sort out I shouldn't be able to feel the second one? Then he's gone in another 6 of these fuckers, 6 lidocaine injections. If they had chucked the cocaine in or the benzocaine, it would have been game over. But no, they've given me the piss poor, the baby sham of fucking canes. And I nearly fainted. I was shouting and screaming. Another doctor's come in. He went, "You've got to silence your patient." And my doctor went, "What do you want me to do? Put a fucking bandage in his mouth?" It wasn't my cab driver, but he was not accenting of these shores. And so he was quite good, saying, "Fuck him, if he needs to shout, he needs to shout." And he started tapping it, and I went, "Mate, I can still feel it." He went, "It's all in your mind, it's all in your mind." I said, "Well, it doesn't matter where it is, but I can still fucking feel it. Any chance for general?" He's like, no. And then, absolute agony. Then I feel it. I just feel it. He pulls back the massive flap and he goes, "Get me that needle." And then he's got a student nurse digging around in it and she's doing it. He went, like when I used to be painting with my old man and my dad, I go, "Don't tickle it, paint it. Don't tickle it, boy." And he sort of said that's where he's going, "You know, don't be shy, you know, we're looking after him, go deep." And she's going in. He went, "You find anything?" He said, "Okay, we can assume." And I'm he said, "Right, well, now we're going to stitch you." I went, "How many?" He went, "Well, between 15, maybe 25. I thought, oh my. The first suture goes in, I feel it. I just feel it. And I'd go, you can't! You can't! He goes, "It's all in your mind." I went, it ain't, I'm telling you. And I've had this with dentistry, and I think obviously my using of general anaesthetics on a day-to-day basis and my not using that day has certainly contributed to this, but fuck, it was fucking painful. I'm not taking anything away from people who've had legs chopped off. This is all relative to me, but I'm telling you, it was the most pain I've had by a country mile, whatever that means, but it was that, I tell you. And he's put the other one in, and I just gone, fuck, fuck! And then, of course, in between, I go, I'm sorry, I just, sorry. Absolute agony. Anyway, he's done that. He gets halfway through and he goes, "Okay, nurse, come here. I want you to finish." And she goes, "Okay." From what I could glean from their conversation, this was her first time. And that's what you want, isn't it? When you're feeling the most pain you've had, you're withdrawing, you've got fucking bone marrow and your brains hanging out of a hole in your thumb. I want a student nurse learning how to sew me up. Again, a minute ago, I was like, I like it when a student said, "I want them practicing." Oh, that's right. People who learn to shave with a wet shave, a proper razor. They practice on balloons, apparently. Nurses are oranges. But yeah, she needs to practice. So she starts doing it. She went, "Oh no, I've got a knot. I've made a knot." And he went, quick, you got to. And then I felt this tugging and I went, "You need to get one of those funny little recycled hats for puke." She went, "You're going to be sick." I went, "I think so." So they've got these hats. They put one each side of my head. I felt a bit like the Flying Pickets. Do do da do, walking at the party, it like a party. Oh, can you feel me? He finally finished that one, and I'm like, oh. And he goes, "Right, what about the other side?" And I'm like, no, it's nothing. That's just a little superficial wound. He grabs hold of my thumb, bends it back, my body bucks. I go, "Nah!" He goes, "That's not superficial. We're going to need to stick another 6 in there." I went, "Any lidocaine?" He went, "Nah, it's too much. It's too close to the surface." And a bit of me was thinking, good, because it didn't fucking work anyway. It was just more pain. So he's jabbed these sutures in, and I could feel him. But at this point, because I know I was on the home straight and I was still breathing, I started getting to that. It was like Stockholm syndrome. I sort of fell in love with them all. And when that one was done, I just looked at him and went, "You've been fantastic." They hadn't. They've been good. They've done what they had to do, and it was cuntingly horrible, but it had to be done, and they sort of had been fantastic. And I said, "Give me one of your feedback forms and I'll tell them all about that." The doctor pulled me to one side, and this is what he said. He said, "A few things you need to know." He said, "One, you're withdrawing. Your pain threshold is way below what it should be for a normal person. Sorry about that, but you play with fire, you get burnt, yeah? You know what I'm saying? And then he said, 2, there's so many nerve endings in your hand, possibly matched only by the feet, that every single lidocaine injection is just in there terrorising them. 3, there's so much blood movement around that part of the body, especially considering you've caused an exit, so it's trying to feed it. And remember, blood is a circulatory thing. He goes, that lidocaine goes in, I don't know, 95% of it is whipped off immediately to numb other parts of your body. And I just was like, right, he said, but do you appreciate I didn't want to tell you that before? And I was like, yeah, well happy. Filled in their form, they've bandaged me all up, and there I am. I've just got these 2 big stupid bandages on my hand. Come home, can't do anything. Can do lots of things, but things I want to do, it's a struggle. How do you wipe your ass? How do you eat? How do you cook? How do you get out of my door, which, as I said, was stiff? Certainly can't clean the constellation of blood off the floor. That's why it's still there, really, not because I like it, but because I can't do it. I can't do it. I can type a little bit now and again, which was nice. I knocked out 8,000 words of my novel yesterday. But what happens is, very occasionally I'll do something and I won't realise that the movement of my hand will cause the sutures to sort of pull a bit, and the feeling of 20 sutures ripping at your skin, it hits you in the belly, and absolutely hideous. Then, of course, I've got to have my bananas. Oh, yeah, that's easy. Oh, that's very easy to do the fiddly work of filling up a fucking insulin spike and getting that in my femoral vein. I managed, though, after a good hour and a half fucking about, losing about £1 million worth en route. Finally get that in. That's the real relief. And, yeah. That's the story of the melons. That's the story of the lemons. It was really, really weird. And it's affected my life negatively, and yet positively. And that is the contradiction of this world, that dialectic battle between one and the other. Who's going to win? For instance, writing my novel, I'm not the fastest typer. I'm not a touch typer, but I do use more than my index finger. And what happened was I had to slow my typing down. Quite amazing, because it gave me a chance to look at the thoughts. I know we all know that well-known saying that language represents thought as thought represents itself. And I had a new relationship with that, because there was a change in speed, a change in velocity, a change in the yeah, I said it. And so that's been good. So there are 8,000 words of some quite incredible writing. I'm allowed to say that. If I didn't think it was good, I wouldn't carry on with it. And also what I'd done, I got up on Google Earth the places that are in the novel. You know, it's largely set in Thailand, and I was walking down the roads, virtually, digitally walking down the roads and getting really inspired by that. Really quite a nice day, actually. And, of course, any kind of injury, there's that first phase of anger, that sort of second phase of depression, but then there's gratitude, because I don't have to live like this forever. There are people in far worse situations, wheeling around on their little fucking square skateboards. Out in Patong, the disabled people sell cigarettes. They hold them in their mouths while the limbs that they got missing, because they had to cut them off from smoking too much. And you have to take the box of fags out of their mouth and throw the coins in their little square skateboard. More of a crate board, I think. And a craze certainly not going to catch on. But it was kind of nice to sort of have these visual images and how that fed the novel. Really quite nice. And I on the way up to the hospital, I'm quite a loner. I'm quite, I'm a recluse, essentially, a hermit. And I'm walking up there thinking, look, I got no one, man. No one. Usually at this point, you're going to ring someone. You're going to bring someone to your life. I thought, well, no one. However, once I posted a picture of my hands in bandages on the social networks, wow, did my people come through. I've had one of my bestest, longest mates come through today. Got in, he sat there, made himself a joint. I can't be doing that shit. And he's done himself up, then he's washed up. Not an half-hearted effort. He cleaned all the sink, he cleaned all the draining board, he moved the little mini oven and cleaned underneath it. Not as much as I'd have liked him to. That was a slight weak link in his chain of domestic assistance. And then he's we put all stuff in bins and all that. Really nice. And and everyone come through. Do you want me to come round? You know, some people done this, others done that. Really nice, really nice. So hasn't been all good, but it hasn't been all bad, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. So my situation is getting fucking ridiculous. So upset and annoyed am I by these things that are now getting 3-4 inches long without the tail. Is it a mouse? Is it a rat? And look, fuck it. I shot one in the face. I unloaded 3 lumps of lead in one. I say lumps of lead because they're pellets, but it gives me a bit of that. Yeah, man. I popped a couple of caps. I popped a couple of caps in old Speedy Gonzales over there. Oh yeah, old Tom and Jerry. Don't know what one's Tom, don't know what one's Jerry. All I do remember is that weird, the sort of black slave that worked in Tom and Jerry's house. You'd only ever see her fat legs and broom. Get out of here and all that. Maybe I shot all 3 of them. But I tried the humane traps. I don't know if I already told you this. I tried the humane traps. You put a bit of food in them, the mouse goes in, the door shuts behind it. It's like, ow, bollocks. And then you say, no, you're going to be all right. And then you take them about 10 miles off. Otherwise, the little fuckers just come all the way back. And then you let them out close to someone you don't like, or a food establishment that you got a grudge with, something like that. But they never went in them. I say never, but then when I fucked off to Thailand for 4 weeks once, when I come back, there was 2 of the little fuckers just in there like half skeletons. And I thought, look how that backfired. I thought it was going to be the humane way of dealing with them, but no, they don't go in there when you're in here. When you leave, they get in there and they spend 3 long weeks starving to death. Couldn't go near it, don't like the little fuckers, threw it out the window. Next thing, fuck humane, I got your traditional mouse traps, the little things that you put a little bit of food on, and when they put their snout on it all inquisitively and sweet, it goes and breaks their nose off, and they sort of lay there dying all night unless you happen to have been awake when it happened, but you're not, because they tend to come out at night, and they die of a nosebleed, the most hideous nosebleed in the world. But I can't be doing with them because the truth is, humans have been killing fucking animals for years. It's just what happens. It always has done. It's not going to stop. Why would it? What you eating? What your clothes made of? Animals kill animals. What are we like? Oh no, I am a vegan. I don't think we should kill animals. Well, that's alright, but animals do, so you should start penalising them. You should get yourself like a vigilante animal squad together and go out into the bushes, and then when you see like an owl fly down to kill a mouse, no, take it out of the air with a shotgun. How dare you kill that mouse? And the mice that come in houses, they live in sewers, they move through small spaces, they get all that fucking infected hell all over their skin, and it's greasy, and when they run around your house, that stuff wipes on things, it gets on your floor, and at some point it's going to get in your fucking mouth. It's not a laughing matter, they're little bitches. And so I thought, nah man, it's time for the gun. So I got the pellet gun and I make a little hide and I sit there with it with a little torch. Torch is important in a minute. And when one comes out, bang, I stick this torch on, strobe. They seem to not like it. They like just stare at you, giving you plenty of time to line up the sights, and bang. And I caught one the other day. This was again like the size of a decent sized Cumberland sausage with ears and a little snout and these big, sad eyes. And I'm like, no, fuck you, bang into its head. It sort of flew back a bit. Fair play to it. It got back to its feet, shaking somewhat, and this is often what happens when you try and trap mice. They sort of they tend to die of a heart attack. And as it's tried to run away, it's triggered 2 traps of the normal ones, but because it wasn't looking for the bait, it was sort of like half-hearted. So one of them's gone down and sort of smashed his leg into 100 pieces. The other one's gone down and sort of, I don't know where that got. It all happened so fast. But he's having trouble moving. And as he got behind the sofa, I've yanked the sofa out of the way, put the strobe on it. It's looked right at me. Boof! Another one in its gut. And I have to say, I'm not trying to be hardy, but the noise it made when it went into it, it was a dull thud. I wasn't using dum-dums. They didn't explode into it. These weren't hollow point 9mm rounds. There's a little bit of lead. But it went... And I was like, oh, and I didn't want to hurt it, and it was still spasming. Might have just been sort of residual reflex actions or adrenaline or something. So I've had to fill it up with a few. until it had gone. But I haven't seen many since then, but you kind of get obsessed about things. Reminds me of that Breaking Bad bit where there's a fly in the meth lab, and it's the whole episode where he's going, yeah, the flies, where's that fly? And there's something else where that happens. It might be Brazil. Oh yeah, no, yeah, the film Brazil. What's it? Terry Gilliam, is it, or one of the other lot? And in Brazil, right at the beginning, there's a fly, and he's like, bugs, and trying to hit these bugs, and he gets one, and as he strikes it with a newspaper, the dead bug falls down into the typewriter and causes it to make a typo between tuttle and buttle, and that is what the whole film grows from that, because they go and get the wrong people, and it was a bit like that. Oh, where was I? So tired. You have to understand I'm drained. Got a lot going on in my life at the minute, and the Anne situation has done me up with the mouse. Oh yeah, but that's it. So now every time I go to the toilet out in the back room, I have to take my torch, my gun, my vape, and my phone, because I know I'm going to be there a while. And so I sit down and I just wait, and when I hear that little scampering, that fucking strobe goes on, and get out. Sometimes I'm hitting them, but I'm sort of hitting the floor in front of them, so the bullet catches them on a ricochet, and so they sort of jump up in the air, but again, then the stress is on, and I just go, puh, puh. And if any of you people have got a problem with that, you shouldn't do that, I just want to say, fuck off. They're fucking idiots. And what am I meant to do? These things reproduce like every four weeks and can give a litter of 10. Imagine you got 4 of them. If I don't do this shit in a matter of months, this is going to be Pied Piper stuff around here, but I won't be able to play the tin whistle, and it'll be them. They'll be leading me. I tell you, you'll see it go down Old Compton Street, 4,000 mice all playing whistles with me walking behind them, ready to be taken off and killed, unless the people of Soho bring back the girls, or whatever the original deal was. Awful little things. Fuck them. I just sit in that thing. I'm going to make a professional hide and take them all out. And the fact is, since I killed what were probably the 3 pregnant mothers, I am not seeing so many of them, and it's fucking great. It's fucking great. You've obviously noticed the technical advantages. You've obviously noted the technical advances in this week's podcast with the addition of. But did you know I had this as well? Oh yeah. I hope that's added to the experience. So that's really been it. After throwing all my food over Pret, they've been really nice to me. Go over there, they sort it all out for me. They put a few spoons in, they walked me back to my house, and really nice. Really, it's been really nice. My mate come round, and this is a bit of a weird one. I pulled my trousers down to use a swab on a few sites around the front. And as I've sat, I've sort of squatted down to do the business with the cooking and all that. And I thought, what is that smell of real proper shit? That's just real proper shit. I was convinced that there was a lump of real proper shit somewhere. And I'm sorry, that wouldn't be the first time that sort of thing's happened. So, hang on, I'm just checking if this is recording, because it's not looking too lightly. I just slide that up there, press that button. Oh no, we're good. And I just sort of, fuck it, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what I was telling you about. Then the memories are not working as well as they should. The memories are not working as well as they could. And I ask you, my friend, you, what is your favourite cake? What is your favourite cake? I don't care if she comes round here. I got my beer in the sideball there, let my mother sort it out if she comes round here. I don't care if she comes round here. The sideball there, I'll let my mother sort it out if she comes round here. It's been that kind of a podcast. I'm slowly flagging now. Oh, look, there's a nurse. She's wearing wings. She's got a unicorn. She's got 2 unicorns. That's right. She's a goat nurse, which is exactly the sort of goat I want. The sort of goat I want. I will love you if you bring me a goat. And I will love you if you let me cut your throat. A song, a sing. Have you seen my hands? Have you seen my hands yet? Have you seen my hands yet? There's a man on steroids. He lives in the block above. I call him Sarsaparilla. Is it time for the yoga? Okay, it's time for the Dangerfield Sunday prescription relaxation session. So I'd like you to get yourself in a state of relaxation, and what I advise you to do this is get a book of all your ex-girlfriends or boyfriends, and then find them on Facebook. Make up a montage of all of their new boyfriends and girlfriends and look at it. That just helps you clear out any negative thoughts. And then put yourself in a stress position like you saw at Abu Ghraib. You know, dress up in that weird sort of pointed at black cloaked thing. Clip a few crocodile clips to your nipples and wire them up to electronic batteries. Have you done that? Have you wired yourself up yet? Are you wearing a pointy black hat yet? Do you need the battery? Do you need the battery? Mum, my telly works using static electricity. Can we watch the snooker, or will it be the darts throwing Bristow? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if she comes round here. I got more beer in the sideball bear. Let my mother sort it out if she comes round here. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. The new Apple Watch. Draw it on your wrist. I hope you found this worth waiting for. I warned you at the beginning, I'm not in a good space. But I am in a good light, and I can assure you, I look like one of those 23-year-old models you get in GQ that haven't had a fuck yet. I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. Yeah, I'm going to do something really special next week, yeah. So all I wanted to say is, big up to the Dartford Massive, yeah. Respect to anyone from Erith. That's how they say it on the news. Respect to Belvedere, yeah. Thamesmead coming at ya. Gravesend Posse. Let me hear it for the Stone Massive. Alamein Gardens people. Yeah, South Central, Dartford. That's right, Phoenix Place. It's not Phoenix Place, is it? I don't know, it well might be. I can remember a time you'd walk around that town, there'd be a pub every few metres. Not now. Every few metres there's just someone from your past who goes, Dangerfield? Strangerfield? Is that you cunt? Is that you cunt, Strangerfield? And I'm like, yes, it's me, but we've got nothing in common. And he goes, you fuck my girlfriend. And I'm like, whoa, we have got something in common. Want to go and grab a beer? They tap you on the back and they give you some Stella. It's been wonderful. I got fuck all else to say. I hope you enjoyed the sound of my choice. And if you want to send a score in, make sure it's boring. See you later. Much later.
See you later. Much later.